Whole life been right about right now.
Peace, loves. This is Wild Trucking, Trucker Talk, Trucker Thoughts, and Trucker Stories. Hosted by me, True 5-Star, your life driver. It is sponsored by Truckin That A.Z Z through this abundance of zigs and zags. Milez, Statez, Experiencez, Tearz, and Laughz. Now today, we have a special 5-star driver with us, and I am thankful that he took some time out of his busy schedule to join us so we can have some discussion here, because I am pushing making wellness a priority in trucking, the health over hustle trucker culture. So I'm interested to know what this young man has to say about all of those things. So first and foremost, driver, what is your name? Do you have a CB handle or anything?
My CB handle is Sleepy, because my pops, he used to drive, but he no longer drives. So I know that's ironic to have a CB handle Sleepy, but
Sleepy, of course, right?
yeah,
That's funny.
yeah, but that tripped people out when they see it on my shirt. But yeah, it's Sleepy. So
Okay. And so your pops used to drive.
yeah, but he no longer
Interesting.
drives.
I
Yeah,
hear
he
that
no
a
lo-
lot though.
I need to ask him where did he get it from. I never asked him where did he get the CB handle Sleepy from, but
Okay.
that's where I get it from. I had some other stuff, but nothing really stuck. And I was like, I'll just pay homage and go with
That's right.
Sleepy.
I like that. I like the fact that you're paying homage. Now, do you have a CB in your truck?
I do, but I don't be on it anymore because I done been doing it so long now that I don't even think hardly anybody be on the CB anymore. I turn it on like if traffic stops or something like that. I might not even do it then because it don't even really matter what's going on. You're not getting by to the traffic clear up. So I just keep the CB
Look, that's
off.
an interesting valid perspective. Like
Yeah.
you can't go nowhere until it is what it
Right.
is.
So
But you
even
know,
though
CB talk is a lost art, because
Oh,
I
it
can
definitely
remember it being like it was a flow, the break a
right,
one
right,
line and
right.
what they used to say, good buddy.
Yeah, they let you know where the cops was, the chicken coop
Yeah.
open, and all that. Now
Yeah.
it be silence on it now.
Wow, that's interesting. What are you rolling in? What kind of truck are you pushing?
A Volvo, and
You
I
got a
pull up.
Volvo?
Yeah,
Me
I
too.
love my Volvo.
Me
I
too.
love it. Yeah, I love it.
People
I pass
talk
by a lot
down
of
on the
fuel.
Volvo. Other
Yeah.
drivers talk down on the Volvos.
Yeah, I pass a lot of fuel islands with that Volvo. I'm averaging
Okay.
almost 8 miles to the gallon right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Yeah, that's
what
pretty
I like
good.
about it. Yeah, and it's comfortable to me. Like I have a 780, so I got all the room I need in my truck. Yeah, and some.
Me
So,
too.
yeah, so I
Yeah.
love that. I love the space that I have.
But you know, one time I was in a sleeper Volvo at first.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Then something happened with that and I got downgraded and I got depressed. That
Oh
Volvo
yeah,
was so small.
yeah,
Listen, I
yeah,
was
yeah,
depressed. And then I got put back into a 780 and I was
yeah,
loving it.
yeah. You're like, yeah,
I
yeah.
was
You're like,
loving
yeah.
it.
I don't want nothing but a 780. I could drive. I done drove 18s, 13s, 10s, super 10s.
Okay.
Yeah, like I done drove all that regular 10 speed. Like the only transmission I haven't drove was like a 15 speed, but 18 speed, 13 speed, 10 speed, and super 10. I done drove all that.
Well, now that leads me to my next question. How long you been in the game?
18 years.
18 years. You don't even look old enough to have been in the game. I won't ask how old you are, but you don't look old enough to have been driving for almost 20 years.
I take that as a compliment. Yeah, it's been 18 years. I've been out there been on the road 18 years.
Okay. What led to trucking? Because your father was a driver? Is that what kind of, encouraged you?
I was working in the warehouse and I just got tired of summertime. It was at Coca-Cola. So in the summer, you can get all the hours that you can stand, but in the winter, you may or may not get 40. And I was like, man, I'm not trying to do this for 20 or 30 years and retire and I'm all beat up. So I was like, let me go, try trucking out. And at first, it was not sweet.
Wow.
I wanted to go back to the warehouse at first, but I didn't.
Yeah. Trucking is certainly, the lifestyle is a culture.
Right, absolutely. Right, absolutely.
Would you agree?
Yes, I would agree with that. Yes.
Okay, because being out there for some months, really started to make me feel like I was a part of a subculture of society, right? Now, keeping health over the hustle also becomes a challenge. And I was only out there for some months. You've been out there for 18 years. Have you been over the road the whole time?
The whole time, yes.
The whole time?
The whole time, 18 years.
That's a long time. So how have you been successful keeping health over the hustle? Or are you caught up in the hustle now, so health takes a back seat?
I mean, I'd be lying if I say health never took a back seat to the hustle, but I do, put that, hold that of high importance to, health over the hustle, because if you're not healthy, then there's no hustling.
Come on,
so
man.
you can hustle all you want, but if that body can't go, then you just laying there looking crazy or something. Right. I don't want to speed that clock up or come to that time, trying to money. So
right, good for you.
I try to find a balance every day. I try to find a balance. Doing something healthy. If it's just walking, a further distance or something.
Good for you. Good for you. Because it definitely began to be a challenge for me. I came out in a certain mindset, with a certain perspective. But as time went on, it got more challenging to stay active and moving.
Yeah, it's easy to get, caught up in that hustle over health. It's very easy to do that.
Yeah.
Because days go by so fast. They're like, I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna do this tomorrow. Tomorrow. Yeah. And but you look at it's 6 months and you haven't done anything. So
right. Listen, I don't want to keep interrupting you because it's not about me, but I have to say my hula hoop on the armrest. And I was like, I'm gonna do this. Huh?
So you have to see it. You have to put your stuff in a spots to where you can see it. Because if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. So you won't go looking for it.
But it still didn't get
it still didn't get
it was just riding as a passenger.
Right.
I used it a couple of times, but it was hard to even find somewhere. I didn't want to be out at the truck stop hula hooping.
Right.
But anyway, I'm happy to hear that you're keeping things in perspective and balance, because a lot of drivers lose that perspective. But let me ask you this though. How has being out there all that time affected you, like relationship wise and stuff? I don't know your situation. You don't have to get personal if you don't want to, but I would like to know how the profession affects your personal life.
Well, I'm married with kids, and before we started having kids, I was already married. Okay. But once I started driving, I guess my wife understand, like, this me, this what I do. Like, it's not, after 18 years, it's not like a phase. Like, this is it.
This is it. This is life.
This life. It's truck life for me. So I'm an owner-op now, so I love the fact that I get to call more shots and have more control over what I do and don't do. So, I've been an owner-op now for almost 11 years.
Oh,
almost 11 years.
Okay.
So I love it. So, I mean, anytime, anything can really put a strain or make a relationship tougher when you don't really know what that person doing when they out of, but that's where trust come into play. And like, if you don't trust each other, it don't matter if y'all work in the same building or every move is made together, it's still going to be issues. So.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, regardless, so y'all could be working in the same building. If it's no trust.
It'd still be an issue. So I just go out here, go to work, and I go home. So I don't do a lot of hanging out and stuff like that. I go to work because I like to be by myself. A lot of times I don't like to talk to people because I don't want to hear the lies and all the BS. I have enough stuff going on, so I just go in the truck stop, handle my business, and I go back in my truck.
Okay.
Go back in my truck.
Wait, because I got another question. So throughout your tenure of being out there, 18 years, you've been over time looking like, are you home every week? How does that work?
Well, I did have a regional run one time out of Florida where I would just run in the Southeast and come home 3 times out the week, off on the weekend. Now that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like it was almost to the point where I could have almost did that run or that lane with a day cab. Because I was just in and out the house so much. But I had a sleeper truck, but now it just depends on, you know, what I'm trying to do. Whether I'm, you know, trying to, you know, stack my money to do something or make a big purchase, or if I'm just out here, you know, just handling business, and I go home every week or two or something like that. Sometimes I'll stay out 2 or 3 weeks, a month at a time. It just depends on what's going on. But I control that now. So if I got my money right, being an owner, I book my own loads. So
okay.
Yeah.
Loads?
Yes, man. I'm the dispatcher now. So
what?
Yeah.
Because that's what I've been studying since I've been off the truck a couple of weeks now. I've been studying dispatching, right? And I've heard other drivers say that they are, you know, dispatching their own loads. And I'm like, now, as a driver, I could not imagine doing all of that, like driving the you know, the pressure and what it takes out of you to get from one destination to another, and everything you got to do once you get there and prepare to leave and all that. And then you got to find your loads.
Yeah.
That has to be a lot.
Not to me. I'm used to it now, but I don't mind. Like, my mindset and mentality is failure isn't an option. So I don't go into anything like I can't do it, because if somebody else is already doing it, and I feel like I just need to figure out, it can be done. I just need to figure out how to do it.
Okay.
So it's not like, and like, this is a road nobody's traveled before. Like, nah, people doing it. So
people doing it.
Yeah, right. So
and I didn't realize that until I started studying and kind of tapping into those rooms of people talking about that. And that's when I heard drivers saying, shoot, I book my own loads. I'm not going to pay no dispatcher such and such amount. I book my own loads. And that's when I was like, oh, well, dang, okay. I heard several drivers say that. And I thought it was quite interesting. So you're handling it. Good for you. Kudos to you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Kudos to you. Now, okay, wait. So I got to go back to something because I didn't quite finish my thought on that. Your absence away from home where your children are concerned, is that an issue, or is that okay? Is that working out okay? You don't feel like you're missing a lot of time? I've heard drivers say they feel like they miss their children's whole upbringing being out on the road. Holidays.
No, I won't say I miss the whole upbringing. I do miss some stuff because I'm not there every day. So it's going to be stuff with school and projects. I help as much as I can from the road, and I go home as often as I can. Also, since I do book my own loads, I may leave and go out 1 or 2 days and then come right back. So within a 3 or 4 day period, I'm back home.
Okay.
But it just depends on like what's going on. But I do miss out on stuff. But I've also, my oldest son, he'll be 14 this year. I was booking loads where I was able to catch his middle school game, and then after the game, I just went in the truck and I left.
Okay.
So I catch a lot, but I do miss some stuff too.
Okay.
But I try to catch more.
Out.
Oh yes, ma'am. I try to catch more than I miss. I just try to do
for
that.
you. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I try to catch more.
Yeah, catching more than you miss. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. That's a tagline. That's a tagline.
Yeah. Try to catch more than I miss. So.
Look, I'm queen tagline. You heard all them taglines. Just on the intro, I got like 5 taglines. I like that. Catch more than you miss. That's very important. That's very important. So tell me this, 18 years, I came up with the term. I'm sure you've heard the term institutionalized. I came up with a term called truckerized. Would you say that you've become somewhat truckerized, whereas your truck, being on your truck, almost feels just as at home, if not more at home than being at home? Like you kind of prefer to be on the truck? Is that a thing?
That's a thing, but for me, it's like I'm fine either way. I would rather be home because that's what a family is for sure. But it's not punishment to be on my truck either, if that makes sense. Like I don't be like, oh man, I got to go to work again. No, I'll be like, all right, I'm going. I'm gonna see y'all and I love y'all. See y'all later. Gotta go.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
That's how I be like it. So it is.
You know what? I can relate to it. I can relate.
Yeah, so
Being
I
out
don't.
there for a while, I can relate to that.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, and then I make my truck comfortable. I have a refrigerator with a freezer on it, TV and microwave and all that. So I just need the truck stop for a few things, and then I'm good in my truck. So it's like I'm
Okay.
at home. I make it home.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's
but you
good to hear.
definitely. Mhm.
That's good to hear. And I can relate to that because there was a time when I was out there that I did feel I was fine and I had everything. It was like a little mini home, you
Right.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a
You
little
got
mobile
everything you
home. You
need
just
or
work.
whatever. Now,
Right.
as a woman though, I did start to get like, okay, this ain't it. This
Mhm.
ain't it. You know, at first it was fine. I was doing what I had to do, and you know, I was enjoying it to a degree because
Mhm.
it was new, you know, and I felt like I had the courage that it took, you know,
Right.
because it takes courage
It
to
absolutely
do
takes
this
that
job.
because it's a dangerous job. It's a very dangerous job.
People don't realize that
Yeah,
it
it's
takes
very
courage.
Mhm.
And part of what I'm doing is bringing drivers to the forefront because people don't value the
Right.
drivers. They see the truck on the
Right,
highway.
right. They value the truck, but they like, maybe the truck can do it without the driver. Nah, we need it. We vital to the operation of
Mhm.
that truck.
And our humanism, like we're sacrificing so much
Mm-hmm.
to
To
do
be
the
out there.
job. You know, there's a sacrifice to doing that job. And part of it is summoning I know people might say, well, you choose it. Okay, that's cool. I get that. But there is I don't know, there's just a level of respect that is deserved amongst the drivers
Mm-hmm.
that I don't think we've been getting.
Oh no, we definitely haven't. Definitely
You know,
haven't been getting that.
and it's taxing on you. You know, I came up with another tagline: trucking can stretch you to stretch you to stress. And I came up with that because I was getting stressed out, you know. But I said all that to say the courage that it takes to do the job. All of a sudden, it was as if I didn't really have that anymore.
Right. The
I don't
drive.
have the courage, huh?
Right. The drive. You don't have the drive for it anymore. It can definitely get like that.
You said it.
You can get burnt out on that road just dealing with, because it's a lot that comes with, like, it's not as simple as just pick it up and drop it off. Like, you dealing with everything. Every load is always something different from point A to point B. It's not just sweet out there on that road. It's not.
You know what I say? Look, another tagline. Well, it's not really a tagline, but if it's always something, you know, that quote, it's always something. Trucking is, it's always something was a job. That's trucking.
Yes.
If it's always something was a job, it's trucking. It's almost like, I don't think I've ever gone to make a delivery and it just went nice and smooth. Now, I like to stay nice and smooth as a person, you know, so I like to greet people and whatever. But it was always something, whether it was the people, which that usually wasn't the case. Just a couple of times I ran into a couple of bad words. I ain't gonna say the bad word. I ain't gonna say the bad word.
Bad attitudes.
But your tandems could give you a problem. Your landing gear.
All that handles fall off, everything. I didn't experience it all in 18 years.
It's like, Lord, help me.
Why now?
Huh?
You be on the spot like, why now? What am I supposed to do?
But you know what else? You know what else? It does cultivate you to have a certain, like, if you don't get a like, kind of let things roll off your back. You go with the flow. Go with the flow.
Right.
If you don't get some go with the flow, it'll drive you crazy.
Yes, it will.
Because at first I was used to a time like, okay, well, I'm supposed to get there this time, so I should be able to be out of there by this time. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You might as well forget about that. That ain't how it works. And I had to recondition myself.
Right. Because they're on a different clock than we're on. Like, they get almost everywhere we go, they're paid by the hour. We're paid by being in motion, by the mile or how many miles we can run within a week. But they not on, they in there for 8 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours. So they're gonna be there that whole duration. We don't want to be there that long. We want to come and go, like dropping
and
hook
keep it
time
pushing.
come and go. Right. We want to be moving on, dropping hook times. So I just pull up with the best attitude I can have possible. Even if they don't have a good attitude, I still make sure I have a good attitude. Because I don't know what their problem is, but most of the time when we're making deliveries, that's our first time seeing some of those people ever in our life, and their first time seeing us, but they have a problem like we the problem, and I know I'm not. So that's what helps me to, you know, keep the best attitude.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm not the reason they're mad. I said, I know I'm not the reason they're mad, so that's why I'm able to keep my attitude, you know, where I need to keep it. But I don't let nobody play with me now, but I check them just as calm and let them know, like, look, now, we're not going to play with me now. We're going to get the job done and we're going to go about our business. But
see, there's that balance again. You're applying balance again.
Right,
I like that. Okay, so a little bit earlier in the conversation, I got a little sidetracked, but it just came back to me where I was going. And you know, we were laughing before we got started. I don't know what it is about your energy, but it makes me have a funny, well, we kind of established it. We kind of established it before we started rolling. So anyway, but it's good. It's all good. You know, okay, I came back to this thought. I remember when I was driving Lyft, and my daughter was preparing to drive. So she was going to school and stuff. So I kept running into these drivers and they would say, oh yeah, I drive trucks or whatever, right? Or I pick them up from their truck or whatever. And I would say, oh, my daughter's in school for, you know, trucking. Do you know, I know at least 7 drivers, 5 to 7 drivers. It was like Spirit kept bringing them to me. Do you know what they're saying? They gave me the same message. Every driver gave me the same message. When I would say my daughter's in school, she's going to be a driver. Now, this was before I even had any thought. I didn't see this coming for myself. Let me say that. I wasn't like, oh, one day I'm going to drive trucks. I didn't see it coming for myself. However, every driver said to me, and I'm bringing it up because I had to apply it to myself. Every driver said, tell her that first year, no matter what, don't give up. They all said the same thing. No matter what, don't give up. And I go back to that because you had mentioned it and I got scatterbrained and got sidetracked. So now I'm coming back to, I had asked you, you know, well, no, you had mentioned how hard it was at first and that at the beginning you was like, I don't know about this. I don't know if I made the right decision.
I need to go back to the warehouse. I was like that because it was the money and then it was everything that came with the job. And I'm like, man, I'm not even being paid enough to put up with. I could go back to the warehouse. I was making more money and less foolishness. So I'm out here. It's like I jumped out the frying pan into the fire getting on the road. But I was like, man. But I stuck with it though. I was like, nah. I was like, I can't let that be the reason why I give up. Because I was like, it was just a company. Because when I switched from the company I started with to that second company, it was no comparison. Like
in
zero.
A good way or?
Every way was good. The equipment, the dispatchers, like they actually really seemed like they cared. That first company, it's like they didn't care. Hey, you just drive this truck, go where we say go. If you got a problem, park it. That's just how it's like they ran the company. I'm not sure if they did that for everybody, but that's how it was with me. And then I'm
tempted to know this company because your story sounds like mine. I moved to Florida and got on with this company because I knew I wanted to drive down that way. And this company had me all the way.
They sold. They sold.
Messed up. They had me messed up. And I said to myself, I said, you know what? They're used to bringing drivers in here that just don't have no other, like they could treat them any kind of way.
It's like drive our truck or you don't have a job pretty much. And I guess but it was Covenant. That was the company I started with. It was Covenant.
Mine was PTI.
Okay. Not good.
Listen, just like I had dragged all that
Is
stuff
that the
and set
red
the
trucks
truck
at the
up.
paper? That's the
Huh?
red. They have
Yes.
red trucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hauling the rolls of paper.
And let me tell you something. That was my first company, you know, as a new driver. So I overlooked a lot of things because I was like, okay, well, I'm new.
Yeah.
From the
Maybe this
from the
how it's
truck.
supposed to go. You probably was thinking, well, this just I have to pay these dues.
Ooh, see, Spirit gave me that message. Just pay your dues. And I'm so thankful that I'm at a place where I really listen to Spirit and I'm obedient. And I did. I stuck with them for a couple of months. And Spirit told me when it was okay to release too. And guess what? It was another job waiting right for me. I wasn't even out of work a week. I just had to travel from Florida on back to Virginia. And this company that I'm with now, like you said, total different story. Their equipment is good. You know, the driver manager, he's all right. He get on my nerves sometimes. We have to, you know, I have to get them together sometimes. But I'm glad kind of that I had that experience.
Right.
To compare to this experience.
Yeah, where you're at. Right.
So I could be grateful and know, like, okay, well, it ain't so bad. It could be worse.
Yeah. I didn't experience worse. So I know it could be worse.
Yeah. So I know decent when I see it. Let me ask you this. Would you say that trucking has paid off?
Absolutely.
For you?
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely.
Good.
It's just, and then see, I pull a step deck now. And so pulling a step deck, I never know what I'm gonna haul next. I be picking up equipment, you know, of course, a lot of building materials, but I'm not just, you know, I don't just haul building materials. So ain't no telling what I have on I might have a forklift one, that might have a dump truck, a different load. Like I haul a lot of different stuff. Like I need to post more to my Instagram because I normally post like what the load is and where, you know, I picked up and where I delivered it to. But I take pictures of everything. I haul a lot of different stuff. So I just love that about it, that the variety of the freight, because sometimes it's a challenge on like where I need to load, you know, certain freight to make sure I'm legal on my axles and you know the height. I do oversized loads. So I do a lot. I can't
imagine trying to back that up. It took me a minute to get where I was like getting my trailer in. That was a big listen.
It's different. It's different
but those of us that don't know, and I'm us, what exactly is a step deck? I know I've seen them, but tell me.
A step deck is similar to a flatbed trailer. You know, a flatbed is just one level. It's an open deck trailer, so it's no walls and it's no roof and it's no doors. You just have like pretty much the floor of a dry van. That's a flatbed. And so what the step deck trailer does is the deck heights, like we have what we call a top and a bottom deck. So your top deck can range anywhere from 8 to 10 feet, sometimes even 11 feet, depending on the length of the trailer. But my trailer is 53 feet long. So my top deck is 10 feet, and then my bottom deck is 43. So after that 10-foot top deck, it drops down almost 2 feet, you know, from deck to deck. And so now with a flatbed, you can go up to 8'6" tall as far as the height of a load. But on my step deck, I can go 10 feet tall. So I have, you know, extra space, you know, for loading a taller load on that step deck over the flatbed. So that's why I like the step deck, because I can pull their stuff, but they can't. A flatbed can never go pick up that step deck load just due to the height of it. So they can, you know, they have to stay within their like parameters of what that trailer can pick up.
So you can put something on that bottom deck that a flatbed cannot haul.
Right. They can't haul it because of the height. Because once it exceeds 8'6" tall, then they has to go on a step deck. Because that maxes them out height-wise, because it's already 5 feet off the ground. And so that 5 feet and then that 8'6" gets you to 13 feet 6 inches high. So that's where they stop at right there.
Now, you weren't always doing that, though. You were doing dry van at some point, regular trailers?
Yes, I done pulled dry vans. I done I done pulled reefer trailers, dry vans. I done pulled doubles before.
Oh.
Yeah, I done pulled doubles before, flatbed, step deck. I haven't done a tanker or a car hauler, but I have pulled dry vans, reefers, doubles, flatbed, and step deck. I've done all that.
Okay. Exciting. So you've been around the world a little bit.
Yeah, I done a few things.
In these 18 years. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, I'm not going to hold you long, but before I let you go, this is Wild Truckin'. Trucker talk, trucker thoughts, and trucker stories. Good, bad, and gory. Truckers have the best stories. That's something else I've learned from being out here and talking to, being sociable with the drivers, They have the best stories. And I named it appropriately Good, Bad, and Gory because I've heard some gory stories as well. I'm carrying some stories that I've heard from some of these drivers, and I tell them, now I'm carrying that with you.
Right.
Because some of them stories I'll never forget. Do you have any good, bad, or gory stories you'd like to unload here with us before we roll out?
It's done been so much, like nothing like recent. I'm trying to think when the last time I seen, like, I'm not gonna say it's like so ordinary to me now, like nothing shocks me. But
now, it don't have to be gory. It can be a good story, a bad story, something you'll never forget. Anything,
Well, one story I can remember right off the top of my head that I never forget, my middle daughter now, she was being born, and so she decided she wanted to come a little early because I was on the way home. Me and my brother, we were running teams at the time. So I made it back to the state of Florida. I'm on the way home. I blow a tire. She decides she gonna come before I can get home. So when I get home, she's already here like, hey, look at me. So she come on out, but her birthday is May 1st. No, April 1st. But I forgot what her original birthday was, but she decided, no, I'm not waiting. I'm coming out. I'm coming out today. Like, I don't care who's here, who's not here. I'm on the way. So,
all times to get a blowout.
Yes. I had a blowout and I'm on the side of the road. It was like, hey, I got to sit here. I can't just leave the truck. So I got to wait. I got to stay with it till it get fixed. But I love it though. It just changed like a lot for me. Like everything is punctual for me. I like to be on time. I don't like to be late for anything. Safety first, of course, because I have friends. I have a nephew. He just turned 21 in December. Oh, that's another good story. My nephew just turned 21 on the 28th of last year. He's on the road now. So that's like, I'm like, hey, man, nephew that grew up on me. Now he out here driving the truck. And I done been out here 18 years, so I hit the road when he was about 3 years old. I've been out here.
This is definitely a generational thing for your family.
So his dad drives. My brother, he drives also. But I've been
that's beautiful.
I've been out here longer than my brother, my older brother. I've been out here longer than him. When he first started driving, he started with Warner. I was coming back from California solo. And when he got the Warner term, I pulled up to the pilot, went in there with him and just, kicked it with him a little bit. But I was going back cross country solo already. And he was coming out on the road. So I'm like, hey, bro, what's up? I'm out there like, I don't know how much. At the time, I had a few years experience. I can't remember exactly how much experience, but I know I was already running coast to coast solo. And my older brother got on the road.
Coast to coast.
Solo.
Coast to coast. Listen, see, that's something I never desired. I knew I wanted to stay south regional.
Right. Yeah.
I know, and I have drivers tell me like, yeah, you're missing out on all these sites and whatever. And I'm like, I don't feel like I am. Now, I would love to see the sites because I've seen some beautiful things riding through the countryside of like, Georgia and South Carolina and, but I don't have any desire to drive over into California and Arizona. I'll ride. I'd love to do that or just take a car trip or something. But driving that responsibility, no.
Yeah.
Even now, like I was saying earlier, some of the roads I've been on, some of the situations I've been in, because one wrong turn can mess your whole
Everything up. Mess everything up.
It
Everything.
can take you a long time to correct yourself and get out of there. It's one wrong turn, one try to let me turn around because I'm going the wrong way. That can mess you up.
That can put you in a situation where you get stuck. You can get stuck doing
dark road, dark country roads, mountains at night, all kinds of things that I have soldiered through and was not scared. Now, I did think like, ooh, this is crazy. But I just kept on rolling.
Right.
Now, for some reason, I can't imagine what I've already done. I've already done it. It's not like, oh, I don't want to do it. I'm scared. You did it. I did it.
Right.
But now, I don't know. I can't explain it. I'm not going to say I'm not going back out. But right now, it's as if spirit is saying, sit still.
Yes. Yeah.
And sit still and move this mission forward. Because what I'm moving forward, I got a chance to see a need, and I see why spirit has me on this mission that I'm on. So I don't know if maybe that was just it. That was the whole purpose in it. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who knows?
Absolutely.
But I will say this, I've met some wonderful people called drivers, called truckers out here, and you are definitely one. And I thank you for taking your time and energy to share with us. And I like to always say to the 5-star drivers, may the road always rise to meet your tires, and may you always be surrounded by divine guides, mile after wonderful mile. And don't forget to always make health over hustle a part of your trucker culture. Okay? I'd love to talk to you again. Keep us, up to speed on what's going on with you. Anything you think of that you're like, oh, I would like to take that to that platform, hit me up and we can talk again.
Yes, ma'am.
We got some kind of kindred. We got some kind of kindred, I don't know if it's our goofy spirits, and we just got goofy right from the very beginning.
Yeah, from the jump.
You know what I mean? So who knows? We could be kinfolk some kind of way.
Yeah,
we don't
probably
know. You never know.
Could be. And then plus we truckers, so we already know we the best. So
that's right. That camaraderie.
Right.
It's nothing like that camaraderie.
Right.
I love it.
We're the best, so.
Well, peace, driver. Ride in peace.
Yes, ma'am.
Whole life been right about right now.